Hey, did you ever notice how gray the sky is? It's freaking depressing.
I'm sorry, what was that? I could have sworn I heard my own voice there for a second because I've been saying the exact same fucking thing for the past month we've been out here.
What? Oh, sorry, I guess I never really noticed. Did you say it a lot?
Oh god, I hate you so much. But I guess it's a moot point now. So what do you say? Are you ready to go finally?
Yeah, I think I've gotten all I can get out of it for the time being, so I suppose it's time we head back. Let's go.
So it was about that time that I just dug my underwear out of the trash can and walked out the door. Bottom line, that is why you should never go into a public bathroom with Donald Duck. Oh, hey everybody, Law Tekking here to review Bleach chapter number 653, titled The Theater Suicide, Scene 7! I don't know why I drew my sword. It really wasn't that epic of a point, but, yeah, here we go. So the chapter begins with another flashback, this one focused solely on Nanao's mother and her husband, which is Shunsui's older brother, still completely unnamed and making it more confusing and hard and easier for me to flub my lines every time I try to describe what's going on. Well, anyway, Nanao's mother had both of the hairpins on her and she gave only one of them to her husband, and he's questioning like, oh, why are you just giving me one? And she's like, oh, well, then you can have one and I can have one, and when I'm suppressing hollows and you're not around, knowing you're holding on to something the same as me, it inspires me and keeps me strong. So hey, I sort of called that, where, you know, both of the hairpins maybe came around like as a wedding gift between the two, you know, as husband and wife, they both wear one and they're connected and all that jazz, and they both end up dying and they both end up passing it on to Shunsui in the end, and that's part of his little, his death treasures, you know, where he has his kimono and his two hairpins, and a lot of people were bringing up, like, I wonder what the story behind his hat is, his casa hat, you know, did, like, his long-lost love end up dying and give that to him, or, you know, his dad or mom died and then gave him the hat. I don't think the hat is a death treasure, simply because he, it got damaged when he was fighting against Stark. Stark basically cut a big chip out of it, and I think later on, in the fight, was it in the fight with Stark or in the fight with Lille? You know what, I can't really tell, but at one point in the fight, Shunsui basically throws his hat in front of his opponent as sort of a distraction, you know, to obscure their vision, and I think it was Stark. I think it was Stark who cut through it. He used his Captain Hayori in the fight as well to use that as well, but anyway, yeah, he's a little bit more, you know, cool with getting it damaged, so I don't think that's a death treasure. I think that's just part of his personality. Well, anyway, after we see this exchange between Shunsui's brother and Nanao's mother, we actually see a much younger Shunsui, and he's just kind of like, I guess, making fun of how, like, lovey-dovey the two are or whatever, and Shunsui's older brother responds to this in a very sibling manner by headbutting the fuck out of him. You know what, I've never had siblings. I've been an only child my whole life, don't even have step-siblings or anything like that, so I don't really know what it's like, but do your siblings constantly go around headbutting you? I don't know if that's a normal thing, so I really don't know how to comment on this. Go home and study or something, you freaking moron. Why are you just snickering at me like that? I'm sorry, brother, I just couldn't help it. Your design looks remarkably like Ginjo Kujo. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people have been saying that he looks a lot like Ginjo, and at first I didn't see it. Well, then again, we didn't really get a full picture of him until this chapter, but, yeah, I mean, like, sort of, maybe he kind of looks like him, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go 100% and say it's completely unrelated, because last time that happened was when Yuha showed up in 484, and everyone was like, holy shit, it's Zangetsu, and I'm like, Guys, it's not Zangetsu, come on. It's just, Kubo's drawing a character with long black hair, and it just happens to look like Zangetsu. This guy's not gonna have any connection to Zangetsu whatsoever, and then I kinda had to eat my words there. So, to those of you out there thinking, there's no connection between Shunsui's older brother and Ginjo, that's just stupid. Yeah, wait until it happens, buddy, then you'll know how stupid you feel, okay? It's like you get sucked into an endless void of, I don't know. It's just, there's no escaping it. So bottom line, I'm just not taking any chances here, okay? Anyway, the reason Shunsui's brother states that he's gotten a little bit more lighthearted at times recently is because it's because of her kindness. It's finally beginning to show through on me, and they, get a look of respect from Shunsui like, I think everything's gonna be A-okay. Of course, everything doesn't turn out to be A-okay, but at the time, I'm sure he thought that. Anyway, we get the title page, which features both of the hairpins, and then we actually stop. Wait, pause. I just realized that we now have two characters in this series whose backstories heavily focus on hairpins. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's not like a connection between the two characters. It's just that it's interesting that you have like something that unique, and that yet it focuses very primarily on two characters' backstories. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, we cut back to the future, kind of, sort of, and I say that because we don't actually cut to the scene that ended last chapter where we had Shunsui emerging from the shadow and, helping to now steady her sword from behind. We actually go back a little bit earlier than that, and I'll be honest with you, this is one of those chapters that really is pretty damn short and doesn't really accomplish much of anything because most of it is just looking at what happened last chapter from a different perspective. Like 1/3 of this chapter technically takes place last chapter. I'll get you what you mean. So we have Nanao here who attacked Lille with the sword and who kind of, parried it with his arm and dispersed it in that mass of light which shot Nanao back. And at the end of the chapter, Nanao's standing there and then Shunsui emerges behind her. Well, we actually open up here when right as she's getting knocked back from the attack, she lands and she's realizing just how difficult it was to be fighting with a sword. Her hands are shaking. She takes a hold of Shinken Hakyoken, but, she's like fighting with a sword. This is so different, and she's not used to fighting with a sword to begin with. I think, I would assume, though, she had to have a little bit of experience here, and I'll get to that right after we look at these other scenes here, because some of this really makes me question if Nanao has ever been in a fight ever, okay? So after her hands are shaking, she realizes that her leg is bleeding, and she looks down and it's bleeding, and he's like, it already cut me. The light that burst out probably caused that injury. And she's like panting very heavily, and it's just like, it hurts. I didn't know being cut would hurt this much. It hurts. I'm scared. My feet, they won't budge. Okay. I get it. Lille's a strong opponent. No doubt about that. Elite Sternritter, okay? I get that. But these reactions are like giving me the impression that she's never been in a fight like ever. Like, I understand most of what she's had, her screen time focuses on basically running the 8th Division because Shunsui's kind of a layabout, she's more of a bookworm, but hey, she's pretty damn skilled with Kido. I mean, back in the Soul Society arc, when Shunsui was fighting against Chad, and Chad gets knocked out, she's just like, you want me to deliver the finishing blow, and she, is about to kill him. I mean, she has proficiency with Kido. You mean to tell me she's never been in any fight, like, with a hollow? Like, there's, like, some random-ass hollow she's never had to exterminate? She's never been in a serious fight? I mean, I know her Asauchi, she wasn't able to make that into a sword, but you'd think at the fucking Shino Academy that focuses on training Soul Reapers, she'd at least have, like, some, like, Kendo 101 lessons, something, Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, I don't know much about the military, okay, I'm not in it, I don't really have much interest in it, but is it, like, possible for anyone out there that's in the American military, let's just use the Army as an example, is it possible to achieve the rank of, like, lieutenant in the Army without seeing any kind of battle action, without ever having to, fire a gun in a combat situation, without doing any of that? Is it possible to achieve that higher rank? Then again, I don't even really know the full logistics behind actually getting a higher rank in the Army. I don't even know how you get higher ranked. If it's just like, you've been doing pretty good, buddy, so you get up a rank, or you did pretty good in that battle, you get up a rank. I don't know. Maybe someone could shed my light on that. But that's basically what I'm getting the impression here, that this, person like Nanao, even though she's not a combative type, should have at least a little bit of experience in this, given the fact that Shinigami, that's the whole point of them. And hey, what would be the fact of training to learn how to use Kido, and she's a pretty damn good Kido practitioner? What's the point of having Kido if, she learned it so she can fight? That's the whole point. So that's what I'm saying. Like, she just seems to be quivering here, and it takes up a big chunk of the chapter of just how freaking, like, shit her pants scared she is right now. And it really only serves a purpose because Shunsui shows back up and, like, comforts her and, like, drives all those thoughts out of her head. But it's basically not really good for her character because she was so damn confident. She's always been confident in the past few chapters, and she even brings this up, like, I'm the one that appeared to give Shunsui some confidence, but now I'm the one shaking in my boots. And it just, I don't know if I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to, like, ruin her character. It, like, ruined her for me. It's just that, here's the way I look at it, this is an elite Stern Ritter, super powerful dude. Yeah, Nanao, go out and take care of him. You'll be fine, just by yourself. You'll be cool. This whole Shunsui and her going at it, that should have been from the get-go. Like, okay, you have a pretty kick-ass sword. You have the tools to defeat him now, but you have no experience using this sword, so I will help you. All right, there you go. You don't have to wait until she's like send her out on her own. Maybe she'll get it, maybe she won't. If she doesn't, I'll try to help out. Well, anyway, now we follow up on what we had last chapter with Shunsui appearing behind her, and that gives her some confidence. Meanwhile, we cut back over to Lille, who's been charging up his ultimate Doom Blast attack for the past 5 minutes or whatever, while Nanao was quivering on the rooftop. So now you've decided to come out and play, hiding behind your own subordinate. What a sad excuse for a commander. So the death ball kind of reshapes itself into a funnel shape with like a ring around it, and then he states that this is his new technique. Now listen to the sound of my trompete and perish. Oh no, Nanao, look out! Lille's gonna blow you! Away with his trumpet! He also might try to give you a Watch out for that too! Let's go, Nanao-chan. Don't worry, I'll always be right behind you. Except for that interchange you had just now when you attacked him and I wasn't right behind you. Aside from that, I'm always here. Alright, so we get a few panels where she kind of remembers shit and she regains her confidence, which pretty much renders the entire, 3 pages where she was quivering sort of pointless filler, but whatever, beside the point, moving on. She strikes a serious look. Lille aims his attack directly at them and releases his load all over the freaking war welt. Okay! I was joking kind of a little bit before when Lille was releasing these big, large-scale attacks, and the funny thing is, the larger the scale attack that he releases, he always doesn't hit anything. I love that. It's like one attack he did, cut off the entire side of one of the, the sections they were on the war welt, and the next attack, levels it straight, and he always manages to miss them completely. I love that. Well, this attack, the trumpet, or the trompete, completely levels the entire area, pretty much. That entire one circle they're on is gone. And, yeah, the war welt is basically going to have 4 points now, which I think that's completely indicative of Yuha's design. That's the whole reason he wanted it. Oh, I'm going to shape it in a 5-pointed star because, Quincy's going to wake up from his nap and be like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, fuck you, Lille. I had a theme going on. Now I have to use my god powers to restore it, alright? I was gonna use it to make me the perfect breakfast of bacon, eggs, and honeycomb cereal, but I have to use it now to restore my freaking house. Great, thanks, buddy. Anyway, though, this attack is exactly like all the other ones that occurred, where nobody seems to get injured. Shunsui and Nanao get completely protected by the attack by using Shinken Hakyoken. Basically what happens is Nanao just holds it in front of her like in a block position, and it completely reflected the trompete attack back at Lille. There's still damage all around them, but the initial attack got shot right back at him and cut him in half, essentially. Although, like last chapter when he got his arm severed, he doesn't really seem to be troubled by this. He's just like, half of my body is missing. Like, okay, I see. It reacts to the ability of the god it's facing. You mentioned something of the sort earlier, if memory serves. Foo-foo-foo. I always love how different anime characters laugh, because most people laugh just like, like, that's a laugh, But in anime, it's like, foo, 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 or moo, foo, 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 foo. Like, not how any person would laugh. I just wonder how that works. It's like, is Lily just going like, foo, 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 foo? I mean, he's an owl, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But I don't get certain laughs of the way they go. I mean, even in One Piece, this problem is more prevalent because every character has like a unique laugh style. My favorite is Vasco Shot. He's one of the members of Blackbeard's crew in One Piece. And his laugh is basically like, topa, 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 topa. It's just like, really, bro? Like, okay, whatever. You can all have your crazy laugh tracks. Anyway, we should all have that. Everybody should now just come up with their own unique laugh styles that's completely, specific for you. Well, anyway, he states that, to be claimed to brush away the power of a god, such a preposterous pretense. Bro! You're cut in half as you're saying that. You're like, you think this power can defeat me, a god? Well, you managed to cut me in half, but don't be so absurd. It's like, oh man, I got shot in the heart. I'm bleeding out. Don't you think that bullet could possibly hurt me? Because I'm awesome. You're already bleeding out as this happens. Well, anyway, the last scene of the chapter may possibly serve to explain what's going on here, because Lille just kind of disperses his entire form, leaving nothing but his wings, and he states, that this preposterous power is a grave sin indeed. And the last scene is just this full-page spread where we have all this light rain coming down on Shunsui and Nanao, and of course we have his disappearing form. So I'm going to assume, and this makes sense given all the light themes because of Lille, that maybe now in his Volt standing, his entire body is made of light. And that's why, it got reflected by Shinken Hakyoken, the mirrors. That makes more sense. Why he's got his arm cut off and the light exploded and he got cut in half and didn't really seem to care about it. His entire form is basically nothing but light now. And that's how, he can just reform himself. Kind of like Kizaru, back from One Piece again. And the light rain thing makes sense. In fact, one of Uryu's signature techniques is Litoreigen, which makes sense, light rain. So, yeah, next chapter, I mean, this chapter didn't really deserve to advance anything. Honestly, I'm kind of pissed because this would have worked great for my 200th chapter review, because with the 200th, I'm going to be busy doing other shit, so it's really good if the chapter really doesn't have anything going on, so I can not focus on that too much and do everything else. But next chapter is probably going to be packed to the wall, because I can guarantee you the fight's going to end next chapter, because I really can't see anywhere else to go. I mean, the stage has been set, both Nanao and Shunsui are there, their confidence has returned. The only thing I'm a little bit annoyed by this is that Shunsui's Bankai got kind of pushed on the back burner here. I mean, did you guys get that impression? I mean, he released it somewhat at the beginning of the fight, which I thought might have been a little bit too early, but at the same time, it's something that the fans have been wanting for years, so I was figuring Kubo would have, all right, let's just get to his Bankai as quickly as possible. And he shows off his Bankai, and it was pretty cool, but the fight's probably going to be solved now by Shinken Hakyoken, and I don't think we're going to get any more, going on with Shunsui's Bankai, so that's kind of just, man. I mean, really, how do you do that? I mean, that's like Urahara releases his Bankai in his fight against Gerald Valkyrie, and at the end of the day, no, it's not Urahara's Bankai that finishes him off, it's Omaida's Bankai! Now, that would be so lame, but I want you to think about that for a second. If Omaida comes back, goes Bankai, and defeats Gerald, you'd be sitting there like, what the fuck? But at the same time, you just have to be taken aback by just how fucking crazy that was. Like, Kubo actually went there. I think I would enjoy that just as much. But yeah, I kind of want to see that now. Damn it. Yeah. Because, it's one of those things. Anyway, that's just my weird fantasy I just came up with. But let's see what else. Oh, yeah, there was one more thing. It's just a reference. It had to deal with Lille's Trompete attack, the trumpet that basically leveled the entire city of the Warweld. Silver's Rayleigh actually told me that it was signifying... Yeah, Silver's Rayleigh actually told me. That's what his name is on my Facebook fan page. So, hey, guys, pay attention here, okay? Yeah. Shut up. A lot of One Piece references in this video, more so than usual. I wonder why. Anyway, yeah, apparently the Trompete attack is a reference to the story of Joshua, where God told Joshua to blow the trumpet to signify the end of the walled city of Jericho, and the city gets obliterated. So that's probably what that's going. And hey, if Silver's Rayleigh is talking, it's the truth. All right, well, that was just a reference. Anyway, that's all we got, guys. Pretty short chapter, like I said. Next week will be the 200 chapter review. And hey, you know what? Don't even expect Tekking to come back. It doesn't seem like he doesn't give a shit about this show. So I'm going to take the reins and I'm going to throw it out there. It's going to be the best 200th review ever. I'm going to have Cone. He's going to be here, and pie. I'm going to have pie. Maybe I'll eat some pie and streamers, you know, and we might even play pin the tail on the Nellio. We're going to have fun, guys. Don't worry, okay? We're still going to be really epic, okay? Law Tekking signing out. Maybe I should even bring some soda pop. It's a great thing about being a vampire. I can drink all I want with absolutely no consequence. Okay. Might still be a consequence or two. Sweet mother of Mina Harker, what the